everything feeds each other. You may post something on Facebook and I may join your email list, which is really what you want. You want a long list of people who actually want to hear from you, right? That's what we could have called this class. Building a long list of people that want to hear from you so that you can hear back from them. And then they can hear from you, and you can hear back from them, and you can inform each other's decisions and grow a community. It doesn't matter if you're a programmer, you're a major high-tech whiz, or you don't know what HTML means. Doesn't matter. I represent Constant Contact in Texas. I am building a community, but I don't have a specific website for those people to go to, right? I don't have to have a website to build community. Community is here and here, and hopefully it is represented online, but it can also be in phone calls. It can be in someone telling their friend. Community is about people. It is not about how good your website is. So it's really about what I call megaphone marketing. It's megaphone marketing because you're not reaching to the people on your list. I said this before, but I want to spend just a second really talking about it. You're reaching for the people on their list. If you think about it that way, you will begin to see growth of your list, of your business, of your community, because you're reaching to give them something worth remarking about. It's called remarkable. Heard the word? Remarkable. If something is remarkable, then they are likely to remark about it. So you provide information and access that is relevant and valuable to the people on your list, and they have other people in their sphere of influence that will care about the same information and the same access. So you're reaching past your list to their sphere of influence. And everyone has a sphere of influence. You may not think of yourself as having a sphere of influence. You absolutely do. Everyone has a personal sphere of influence and a professional sphere of influence. In my personal life, mine is ice hockey. Strange, I know, I live in Austin, Texas, but my son plays ice hockey, my husband plays ice hockey, my husband's a coach, he's an off-ice official for the AHL, and in the fall, typically, most weekends, I'm traveling with 17 other families to go to hockey games, okay? Those 17 other moms are a part of my personal sphere of influence. They don't care that I know how to rock Twitter. They don't care. Most of them aren't on Twitter, and if they are, they're not following me. We're not together because of what I do for business. I have personal sphere of influence. But there's a hockey store between Dallas and Fort Worth called Pirani's. Anyone ever heard of it? That just always tells me if there's hockey people in the room. Nobody. So there's a store called Pirani's, and they send me emails once a month, and they have me fully engaged. They are tracking what I do, and they know that when I get that email, I forward it to 17 people. They do not know who those 17 people are. That's against privacy law. But they know that I'm forwarding it, and they keep sending me better and better deals, because the first thing I do is look at it. That's a deal on skates for teenage boys. None of you have had to fit teenage boys that are growing fast in ice skates, but it's very expensive, and I send those deals to those 17 other women. And that is part of my personal sphere of influence. Everyone you know, everyone on your list has that same general sphere, and they are sending it to me knowing I'm going to send it on. And I may never buy. They treat me like an unpaid salesperson. They treat me so well. They treat me like I'm an ambassador of hockey across the world. They give me access to things that other people don't have access to. They make me feel special as a person, as a human. They probably do it differently to me than they do to my husband, who's on the same list, but we get different emails because they've segmented. Men react one way, women react a different way. Start thinking about what you're doing in those terms, and you will see growth in your list. It is not about the people on your list. It is about how they define you to the people in their sphere of influence. So email and social together are the tools that make engagement marketing possible in order to grow, okay? It is about using them in balance together to grow the list, to grow the Twitter followers, the Facebook friends, the LinkedIn groups, the LinkedIn connections, and the bandwidth of people that are talking about you in a positive way and making it very easy for them to do that. Look at this email. I know you can't read it. It's the U.S. Tennis Association's newsletter for September of 2006. It's from 2006 because I used to use it as an example of not to put everyone in the to line. See that? Because I used to have to teach that. That's how far this industry has come since I started doing it. But I keep it because I want to talk to you about what real marketing is. This is part of a community building effort, right? This is the U.S. Tennis Association. That is a community. Anybody here in the U.S. Tennis Association? Always worth asking. So this is September 2006. This is the following month using a service. Happens to be Constant Contact because that's where I work, but could be any service. It has colors and pictures and links. It's got their logo. They're using a graphic from a direct mail piece, which if you're doing direct mail, you should be doing. Put it in your emails, put it on your Facebook, put it out as a twit pic, put it out on LinkedIn. Make sure people are seeing it before it arrives in the mail, because it's landing in a stack of other mail that I may perceive as trash, maybe. But if I see something I recognize, you've just taken yourself out of the trash pile into, what is this? I see this for some reason. I don't have to immediately know it's yours, but it will have a higher impact if you've used that graphic more times, and you'll get more out of spending the money for the design of that graphic. But having colors and pictures and links and your logo is not what's making this email marketing. Yes, you're reacting to the color red. You're human, you're an American consumer. That is not what's making it marketing. What's making it marketing is that it is trackable, that you can look at as the sender of this and say, here's who opened it. Here's when they opened it, which does matter. Here's how many times they opened it and when they opened it, which does matter. Here's what they clicked on. Here's how many times they clicked on it. Here's the number of people they sent it to. Again, you don't get to see who they sent it to. That's against all privacy law that I could teach you in an hour. But you do get to see that they have forwarded it on. You can see the level of engagement, and you can more importantly see what worked and what didn't. And certain things work with certain people, and certain things don't work, which is why I pointed out that Perenni's probably is sending my husband different emails than they send me. They've paid attention to what works for me, and that's what they send me. They nurture the relationship in an authentic way using marketing. When I say the word marketing, I mean something very, very specific that is separate from sales. It is separate from communications. It affects both of those things. But marketing is a very specific animal. Marketing is defining an audience, reaching out to that audience with a message that is specifically for that group of people, and eliciting from those people a physical, measurable response. The physical and measurable response is what makes it marketing. Before, when I just said you define an audience, you reach out to those people, that's communications, or could be impacting sales. But when you begin to elicit a physical, measurable response, you are now marketing. Because you can say, this worked, do more of that. This did not work, stop doing that. Remove the emotion from the decisions. If your boss is spending 5 hours a month writing his letter from the editor, and 2 people out of 2,500 have clicked it in 6 months, then you can present that as data, and it is no longer an emotional decision for your boss to decide whether to spend that 5 hours writing that article. Or repackage the article, put it in another spot, help people realize that they care about it. Now you're marketing. And it costs very little to do this. It actually doesn't take that much time because systems like ours and others like ours will tell you who clicked what, when, and how. And they'll let you segment people quickly. If I wanted to see who clicked on each of those 3 links, I could do that individually. And as an aggregate, I can say 60%, 30%, nobody clicked this one. Of those 3, 60%, 30%, 0, which is the most valuable to you? The 60% if you've got your sales hat on. But as a marketer, for me, that 0 is so valuable. That 0 is stop writing about that. And it didn't cost me anything to learn that. Stop writing it, nobody cares. Writing about it. Or repackage it, reword it, put it in another spot, and see if they realize that they care. Now you're marketing. Or let's say this was a travel blog, and you had golf outings, beach outings, and ski outings. And you have a travel group, and you want to see who's clicking on what. You can look at everyone who clicked on golf, and in one click, save them as golf interested. You don't need to know that they have a set of golf clubs or not, or that they just spent how much on what. You know that they care about golf by virtue of the fact that they clicked it. Now you're marketing. Because if you have a big golf package that you want to share, or you want to throw an event maybe, and you want to decide, do we want to do a golf tournament or not, what percentage of people are in that list? And now you can actually decide, will we get a decent return on that many people? And you'll get a higher return on the effort because you're nurturing the relationship in an authentic way that really matters. Okay, so we know what real marketing is, right? Come on, pull up. What we're going to talk about is, what do you write about then? So what, you know what marketing is, what do you write about? And do you have time to write about it? Do you know what to write about? Or do you sit in front of the computer and go, oh, what am I going to write about? And you just start writing and you're rambling and there's no purpose, there's no objective, there's no real response because you didn't have a clean mindset when you did it. What you write about is pretty simple. First of all, if you're going to be on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter, fill those in before you unleash them on the world. Fill them in with what's called starter content. And if you get these slides from me, if you ask me for the slides, I will send you 2 extra slides that are just text, single line space of examples of starter content. I don't want to read that to you because you're adults. You can probably guess what it says, but add surveys, add polls, questions and answers. But I'll give you lots of examples of that. But fill it in, because you don't want people to come to your community and see Dan joined Facebook, and that's it. That's not community. You want people to have something to react to, and you want to be able to measure it. Write about what you know that they don't know. And this is something you could share with your members of your community as well, because that ups the ante in terms of what's valuable that people are talking about. You write about what you know that they don't know. You don't write about your products and your services so much as you write about why you do it this way, or why you use this particular piece of code, or why you chose to use this color here. You talk about what you know that they don't know, and don't be afraid to give away the farm. You can't be afraid to give away the farm. Tell them everything you know. Nothing that you put in an email or on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter is going to replace your experience, and more importantly, your level of comfort with that experience. So you know what you're doing, and you share it, and people who are likely to participate and want access to that will engage. And next, you give away access to what you have access to. You have access to more than you may think. You can give early access. You can give access to a paper. Whatever you have access to is what you should give away. And again, please don't be afraid to give away the farm. It's something that you give freely, openly, and it will come back to you in droves. When you make it possible for people to get information from you, feel empowered and inspired, they will share that, and it will grow your organization, your business, and more importantly, your community. Growing your community will grow your business. Absolutely. I am out of time. I want to let you know I'm going to stay and take questions, but if you want a copy of these slides, either give me your business card, or you can text the word engage to 22828, and you can get a free trial of Constant Contact, but you don't have to do that, but you will get the slides from today's class. You'll get one email from me, and that's it, I promise.